What screams I'm poor but pretend I'm rich? Not me, but I work in the service industry, and the probability of people who take videos of getting served shots to flex on social media and end up tipping poorly or not at all is pretty much 100%. I know a guy who wears Gucci everything and has gold teeth. He doesn't have a home or apartment. No car, although we live in an area where to go 20 miles away it's required. Fucking ballin' on a budget. Having no money but still votes for Republicans. Dodge Chargers. Neighbor spends $2,800 to wrap his 2007 clapped out Prius in gold. Breaking the law, but getting punished for it. Voting Republican. $5,000 wheels and tires on a $2,000 vehicle. Shit leaks oil everywhere, bro. Your shit ain't ballin' and everyone knows it. Gucci sunglasses. Every Karen wears them, and they're crazy expensive, but whoever wears them want others to think they're rich. In my neighborhood, people started riding scooters that look like sport motorcycles, but they go at 30 kilometers per hour max. I do not wear diamonds for two reasons. I lose sets out of rings almost automatically, and I don't want to contribute to the blood diamond industry. Luckily, for me and so many others who do like the sparkle of diamonds, there is Diamond Dell. I bought a gorgeous engagement ring/wedding ring combo that uses electrum, a combination of silver and gold that the Egyptians invented, and Diamond Dell to create a stunning diamond gold looking ring set. It cost me a little more than $100, but if I had the same ring in gold and real diamonds, it would cost me at least $100,000. You can't get much more pretend rich than that, except for, maybe, the lab-created Tanzanite jewelry set I have that screams "look at me." I have actually seen women who have really nice ring sets that are undoubtedly real diamonds with much smaller stones look at my rings with envy, and many have commented on the rings. They are shocked when I tell them what they are really made of. I actually pity jewel thieves now, since it's so hard to tell lab-created from genuine mine gems these days. If I see someone in Gucci flops, I assume they spent their entire paycheck on them. People that live in a ghetto neighborhood but lease a nice car. DC is so full of people in rundown neighborhoods with Benzes and Beamers. Making fun of poor people. There has to be a definition for rich too. About 30 years ago when I was young, I went to a job gig to Libya. Yes, that Libya. I was young and it paid good. I was the only stupid enough to go. I took some USD with me because it was the money there that time. I was there for 2 weeks, did what I was supposed to do, got along with locals very good. Only after I realized that the emergency money I had hidden, about $3,000 was a normal local factory worker's over 2 years' salary. The factory I was working those weeks. Those $3,000 was 2/3 of my extra of being young and stupid, got normal pay for the 2 weeks there also. So I got 3 years, almost 4 of local factory workers' money from 2 weeks. And company paid flights and so on. Perspective. Some people in my town have bad houses, bad cars, but think it's a good idea to buy their children phones in like 4th grade and super nice clothes. One word, ricers. Anyone who looks anything like Keith Stone. People who show off stacks of cash on pictures instead of depositing it into a bank account. BMW. Expensive t-shirts. A big screen TV taking up the full width of your double-wide trailer home. Used to work at a 7-Eleven. Once a month for a week this guy would come in with a rented green Cadillac and a very obvious prostitute on his arm. Would flash a wad of money while in the store and make it very specific that he wants $10 on that green Cadillac right there. Co-worker told me he does it with his SSI check. Louis Vuitton bags. Specifically, the big ones that aren't leather, but just coated canvas covered in logos. Using Android with an iOS theme pack. I do not mean that Android is for poor people, personally I think Android is better. I got a list. Flashing money. Sharing post of stuff bought in luxury stores and bragging about going on trips. Buying a fleet/base model. Obsession with shoes and watches. Says hustle too much. Posing next to cars they don't own. Claims to be an entrepreneur but doesn't know shit. Claiming to be at a luxury hotel. Brags about party life. Showing off newest iPhone or gaming system after complaining about rent. That's the stupidest thing a person in my country can ever do, is to flash cash via social media and do this whole pretend to be rich thing. This is because if income tax, the police or any authority with relation to money/crime catch wind of it, they'll start investigating the person to see if they're related to money laundering, financing criminal activities/terrorism, non-declaration of income tax, etc. etc. The worst thing is the burden of proof is on the accused. If they can't prove it, all their assets have a chance of getting seized, and they can get a hefty fine. And while being investigated, the person's bank account will be frozen and they'll be called in to give a statement to the police, and the police aren't the nicest chaps during interrogation. Wearing bootleg Supreme merch. Mercedes C-Class compressor. Driving a slightly higher tier car brand, BMW, Mercedes etc., but it's from like 2002. BMW 3 Series. Those guys who sell financial help courses on TikTok and Snapchat. 2-for-1 sushi on a Tuesday night. Fake AirPods. Supreme stickers on everything you own. People who live in obviously run-down, tiny and terrible homes while sporting a shiny new car, truck or similar. Balenciaga. And Armani Exchange. A nice car with a monthly payment. Driving car with all windows open and blasting music. Trying to take a picture of your Yeezys, or jewelry, or drip in general, when all I can see in your mirror is how run-down or dirty your bathroom, or house is. Owning a gold toilet. Chrome, gold, or reflective screen printing on clothing. T-shirts, hoodies, sweatpants, jeans and hats etc. This makes me think of The Great Gatsby. It's been a while since I've read it, but at some point they discuss the differences between those with new money and those with old money. I think that people who are overzealous in showing/spending their money indicate an insecurity in their wealth. It is one sign that they may be a poor person pretending to be wealthy. This is not entirely the case, but definitely something to think about. Buying liabilities instead of assets. Like car payments. Telling your friends they can be like you if they just pay a $235 enrollment fee into the foreign exchange market. Lots of chains. Though I don't see it often and don't act on the perception, I see tons of guys who can't be older than 22 with thick yellow gold chains. Either their parents are loaded more than a QAnon rifle, or those chains are plated/hollow. Giant small PP trucks. Flashy chromed out rims. Having 9 kids. Driving a 20-year-old's class Mercedes with every warning light lit on the dash and failing suspension. I tell people I made a 140% profit on AMC when it exploded a few days ago. Which is true. What I leave out is that I only put in 5.75, so my 140% profit is like $7. Supreme brand merchandise. Worthless brand, the only people that wear it are posers who are gullible enough to throw their money away in hope of gaining status. Wearing designer clothes. Golden chains. I have a sister-in-law whose entire family acts like they're rich. When people or Uber drivers would drop them off, they would have them drop them off about 10 miles away to a nice neighborhood. A neighborhood considered upper class, and they would walk it back home. To this day they still act rich, go to Beverly Hills and just order water or coffee just so they can post that it's just a normal day in Beverly Hills. It's funny cause my fam doesn't front, but we are way better off than them. My sister-in-law's fam lives in ghetto-ass apartments and are in so much debt and front like they're super rich. Shiny rims and a speaker system on a beta car that doesn't even have matching panels. Not exactly saying they're rich, but they are definitely trying to flaunt more than they have. The real Gucci whatever hang bang, but you drive a busted up 2010 Nissan. Buying everyone at the dive bar a round of well vodka shots. Not entirely sure if this belongs here, but here goes. I work as a host in a small restaurant with average prices, $10 to $15 a plate, plus drinks, etc. Yesterday, two middle-aged women with generic Karen haircuts pulled up in a new Mercedes, came in, and immediately became outraged that we had a waiting list, due to being understaffed in the middle of a lunch rush. I offered to put them on the list, and one of them pulls out her credit card, shows it to me, and assertively says, "Okay, are you going to seat us now?" I assumed that she had one of those limitless cards, which I literally couldn't care less about, and told her that it didn't matter, and she'd just have to wait. They went and stood outside, even though we had set up chairs so people could sit while they wait, and glared at me the entire time. They kept coming in and asking why I couldn't seat them, which I answered with the truthful answer of being terribly understaffed, as two servers and a cook had been injured in a car accident that morning. They're fine, no major injuries, but the car was totaled. Eventually, after a 20-minute wait, I call them and seat them on the patio, and they proceed to order about $80 worth of food and drinks, going so far as to pour their first round of Bloody Marys onto the ground just to prove to the unfortunate people around them that they didn't care about the cost of their food. Then, when they were given their bill, they wait until the server goes back inside, and they run out of the patio gate, hop in their car, and drive away without paying. Unfortunately for them, Karen had decided to back into her parking space out front, with her license plate clearly visible to the outside security camera. A police report was then immediately filed by my manager. It was a good day. TLDR, a couple of Karens drove up to my restaurant in a new car, flashed their credit cards at us, wasted food to prove how little they cared about money, drove away without paying their bill, and are now most likely in jail. Edit, added the TLDR. With